Out there, everybody. Hope you're all enjoying the Epstein documentary I released recently. Someone had asked about Brutus. Well, there he is, the old mutt. So marching along, which is why I'm on my walk. So it's more of a walk for him than me. But while we're out here walking, I just have a couple of narrative questions about what's going on here. So first off, when everything took place, the authorities dragged some old guy out of there and said he did it. And then everyone was like, well, there's no way that's possible because it was a shot at center mass that hit Charlie Kirk's bulletproof vest. And I guess we should say first off, rest in peace to Charlie Kirk, and prayers go out to his family. It's absolutely horrific. Even if you don't agree with his politics or any of these people's politics, you know, violence like that is not the answer, obviously. So with that being said, whoever shot at him, you watch the video, it hits him like right about here, bounces up and hits him in the neck after. And that's because whoever was shooting was a professional shooter, in my opinion, and was shooting at center mass, and you couldn't quite see the body armor underneath Charlie Kirk's shirt unless you really looked. And that's what it hit, because that's where a professional shot would go, would be center mass, so you don't miss. And they didn't miss because it hit his body armor, bounced up and killed the guy. And there's a couple really weird things going on Twitter today that are in my timeline. The first off is people sharing videos of Charlie Kirk talking about a certain Middle Eastern country and its ties to Epstein, which I detailed in great detail in the documentary. So if you're wondering what those are, just go watch the documentary. I'm not going to go through them all here, but there's an awful lot there. And the other thing Kirk was calling out was the obvious false flag that took place and like what looks like stand down order that took place on October 7th that led to the current expansion of the Greater Israel Project, which is what's going on. And it's just America is being sent into a absolute downward spin because this is the plan. They have to destroy America from within in order to make us equal to China and Russia so they can have their multipolar world order. Because if they don't take the West down, then you can't have balance. And they've done as much as they can to build up China and Russia, but they can only do so much. So now they're just in full-on tear down the West mode, unleash the violence. And you have liberals out there using this to, which is really insane, celebrate the murder of some dude, which is nuts. I mean, I honestly can't believe they're doing that. That's so beyond the pale that I don't even need to address it. I mean, celebrating the murder of some dude is insane. So that's crazy. But they're also trying to take away our rights. Now, Monograph did a really good video about this. And people have pretty much identified that the shooter was some dude up on the roof who had this high-powered rifle with a scope on it. I mean, you can see the up-close image on my Twitter timeline, and it's definitely like an up-close image of someone with a professional setup with like a tripod and a telescopic lens and all that kind of stuff. Now, Monograph pointed out that back in the 90s, the feds had the Echelon program, which allows you to track individuals by satellite. So if someone had been on the roof, they would be able to go back and use the echelon program to track their steps. I mean, you can track people by the gait of their walk, right? So you can just track someone right with the echelon program to wherever they go from there. So in my opinion, this was a state-sponsored, allowed assassination. I don't know if it was done by interests in the US or interests from foreign nation. And here's kind of the thing where they get you with that, is a lot of these interests are both, right? So it's like, oh, it wasn't Mossad, it was done by the CIA, or it was done by British intelligence or whatever. And they're like, we got you. You blamed Mossad for something the CIA did. And it's like, well, they all work together, and they all work for the same banking corporations that run the countries, which is what I showed in the Epstein documentary, which is like all these huge major corporations like JP Morgan Chase that make up one of the biggest parts of the Federal Reserve System are the ones that finance all of this shit that's going on. Like Epstein couldn't have done what he did without a bank allowing him to use their services to conduct the financial transactions, right? So, with all that being said, I see all these pro-Zionist people out there celebrating Charlie Kirk, being like, he was one of us. He was our guy, and he was for like a really long time. And then as soon as he stopped being one of them and started just a few questions about what's going on over there, and like the clear, crazy nature of what happened on October 7th and the connections to Epstein, all of a sudden dude gets shot. That's nuts. That's so worrisome, obviously. Like, people like me do not like seeing stuff like that go down. So, anyways, hope you're all having a great day out there. And just remember, be kind to each other. I saw the Democrats being like, oh, prayers aren't enough, and need to take away all your guns. It's like, well, when it looks like the state is allowing assassinations and they're doing these like program to chill, group parties with all these, what used to be the serial killer and now is the programmed to chill, if you understand my words type thing going on, where they go in and have a big group party in a school, those kinds of dudes. And it's not just the gender fluid ones that are doing this. It's been going on since like Columbine, that you have these, programmed individuals doing this shit, which looks like it comes straight out of certain mind control operations. And the other crazy thing is, like, when you look into the backgrounds of a lot of the elite and whatnot, they're big into psychiatry and they have lots of background into that kind of stuff and how the brain works and how people work and how to like fuck with people and mind control them. So it's, it's not like MK Ultra was something we made up. That's like a real thing that they uncovered in the church committee hearings. So with that being said, those are my questions, which is like, if you have the ability to surveil everyone with satellites, how do you not instantly know who did this, right? And of course they did, as Monograph points out. Like, they knew instantly who did the shot as soon as he took the shot, right? So with that kind of knowledge, like, why are they lying to us, being like, oh, the shoe's at large, we don't know who it was, yada, yada, yada. And now they're going to, like, bring forth some, like, patsy probably that won't have any, like, professional shooting history in their background. And they're going to be like, oh, this tranny And I already saw it. They said like some tranny or something did it with a gun, of course, that has all the markings on it, like straight out of 4chan psyop bullshit land, which is how it always works. They're always like, oh yeah, the crazy shooter put a bunch of 4chan-y type shit on the gun. It's like, oh, and they used an AR-15, of course, always. Just absolute nonsense. They're trying to push gun control with this shit, which is insane. And no one is, like, the Israelis are all talking about how Charlie Kirk was their guy. So it's this crazy, like, bipolar world of non-reality. Like, as soon as Charlie Kirk questions Israel, he ends up dead. And it has nothing to do with just like an average person shooting someone else because guns are available. And they're not available that easily either. Like, to buy a gun in Massachusetts, you have to go through all types of fucking hoops and pay all types of fees and all types of bullshit to get a gun. So this idea that you can just buy a gun in this country is fucking stupid. And on top of that, you have to have thousands of dollars of cash to buy like the equipment that we're talking about here. So where are all these like shooters getting this money to buy all this stuff from? You know, like these like high school kids with like thousands and thousands of dollars of gear. Doesn't make any sense. All right. That's my rant for the day. Sorry. Peace out, everybody. This is Brutus and me signing off. And those are my questions. So peace, everyone. Go watch the documentary. Okay? And share it. It's like just over 1,000 views right now. Needs to get to like 2,000 views so that it can like really be taking off and being seen by people. So if you guys could go out there and share it and do all those kinds of things, it'd be super important to me. So thank you all. Take care, and I'll be back soon.